listening to Mixed Results Pot Tots with Nick and Kevin, rolling dice, flipping cards, and diving deep into your favorite stories. Hey!
And welcome back. I am Kevin with Mixed Gaming 190 and my co-host
Nick with Unexpected Results MTG, and our guest today is
Ashu from NavyCow.
NavyCow.
Thank you for joining us, Ashu.
Thank
Been
you.
a big fan of yours for quite some time. We've DM'd quite a lot since. We'll kind of get into it right away. Ashu, how old are you and where are you from?
I am 49 years old, and I am in Southern California, in Ventura County. If you know what it is. It's right next to Los Angeles County.
In my county. We're
Yes,
very
your
close
county.
together.
I wasn't sure if you wanted to say where you were, so I didn't say. So yeah,
A lot of
Yes,
people already got his
we're
address
neighbors.
anyways.
We're very
Yeah.
close. We're neighboring cities, but yes, I've already put the city all over my page. So if people haven't figured it out already, like you, I mean, that's how you figured it out. You're like, hey, I know that place.
I think I shipped you something, didn't I? Oh, maybe
No, you
not.
haven't seen anything yet.
Oh, not yet. Okay, I'll have to make sure I do that.
Well, no, because I'm
Instead
going
of
to
just
get
walking
it
it
from
over.
you in person.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You're getting it in person. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the hand delivery. Well, where are you from?
I am from, I don't know, like ethnically or geographically, or how do you mean? Where am I from?
All the above.
All of the above.
All the above.
I consider myself a Los Angelino. I've lived in Los Angeles for more of my life than anywhere else. But I grew up in Salt Lake City, and I was born in Dallas. My parents immigrated from India back in the '60s, and so that's where I'm from.
Very cool. And I know you went back and had a big trip, and we got to see a lot of that on your page recently. Are your
Mhm.
parents back in India, or were you just visiting more family back there?
No, my parents they immigrated, so they are full time living in LA. Well, my mom is. My dad passed away a few years ago, but we actually went back to India, not to visit family, but to do what's called a munja, and that's the um, bar mitzvah type of a thing that and we were supposed to do it for our son years ago, and then the pandemic happened and we couldn't do it, and so then we adopted our daughter, and uh over the last like year or two, she's been saying she wants to go back to India. She wants to go back to India. We adopted my daughter from an orphanage in India, and she's been saying for the last couple of years that she wants to go back. She wants to see the orphanage, and we're like, we're not going to say no to that. And so we thought we would kill two birds with one stone. My father passed away before we could do my son's munja, and so we said, okay, we're going to go back to India. We're going to do the munja there, which is something my father would have loved, and and she can see where she came from. And we did her munja as well. It's typically a male thing, but prior to the British occupying India, it was a male and female thing. So we decided to do it for both of them at the same time, and that was the reason we went to India, and then we also traveled everywhere and saw a bunch of cool stuff, and hung out on the beach and things like that too.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you come from a very strong family background. What was life growing up like? Was it, you know, did you have a lot of Indian traditions? Did you have siblings? Did you have your own munja?
Okay, so yeah, I did have my own munja. The and Just so you know, the munja is it's uh, a religious thing, but where you're supposed to be going off to learn. You go off
Mhm.
and learn with a teacher, and you're gone for 12 years while you learn, and then you come back after the 12 years is over fully educated. And it's the same. It's imagine if it was public school, how we have it here, right?
Mhm.
Kindergarten, you actually just go to kindergarten K through 12 in another in out in the forest. But so I did that. Yes, I did it in Los Angeles. There was going back to India was not a convenient option for at that time. Um, I do not have siblings. I am an only child, and I am proud of that. The growing up was interesting because both my parents are were entrepreneurs. They ran their own business, and so I was alone a lot. And I don't know if you know of there's the whole Gen X. Oh, you're going to be out until the street lights come on. It wasn't like that. It was just you're going to be out until we come home at 9 o'clock at night,
Okay.
and have dinner at 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then go to bed. But yeah, so they were gone a lot. My mom had and still has a restaurant that she runs in Los
Mm.
Angeles. So yeah, if you want to go, Nick, if you want to come
Mm.
eat some good Indian food, I know just the place.
All
But
right.
but yeah, that was me growing up. I consider the restaurant to be my sibling. I spent all my time there that I wasn't like mm, making mischief around. So my bus stop would drop me off right outside the restaurant after school. And I would walk in there. I would help out, and that was it. That was what happened. It was every day. I would go into the restaurant and help out, and then go home to do homework and or go home and pretend to do homework and then rinse and repeat.
What was your most vivid memory of like your maybe most loved or most hated thing that you had to do over and over and over again at the restaurant as a kid growing up?
Over and over and over again was dealing with well, you said hated, so it triggered a memory for me, and I'm
Okay.
going to go into that. It's not something that I did over and over again. It's just something that happened. And this was during the Cricket World Cup back in the
Okay.
90s. Um, and we had our restaurant, and what we did was we would show the games live, and that meant in the middle of the night, right? And so it was my responsibility as the only child and the youngest one and the oldest one, to be in the restaurant in the middle of the night, supervising these events where we had that. And so I would go into the banquet hall and set up the TV and everything like that. Then I would go into the kitchen and I would make food and snacks and stuff like that for all the guests. And one of those nights, I was making the food, and I went back into the banquet hall to watch the game, and I got distracted and I forgot that the food was cooking and started a fire in the restaurant.
Mm.
The and Yeah, so that was hated. I had third-degree burns on my because
Oh,
I
Ooh.
was trying to stop the fire. I was trying to put it out because I was watching my parents' livelihood go up in flames.
Mhm.
yeah.
And so I had third-degree burns on my arms, and I had boiling hot oil splashed into my
Oh.
face, and I had a third-degree burn on my right cornea.
Ah,
And it was painful and horrible, and thank you for bringing up the memory. I appreciate
I I'm
it.
I used to run a restaurant, so I have like some vivid things that I just like the smell of Fabuloso to me. I just can't
Mm,
do anymore because I have so many nights in endless nights I mop that restaurant. I used to cut bread every day for our sausages and hot dogs, and then I would
mm.
be eating ends of bread, and I would wonder why I wasn't hungry ever, even though I worked in a restaurant. And it was because at the beginning of every shift, I was eating probably 4 pounds of bread.
Oh,
So
wow.
I didn't want it to go to waste. It was just like, oh, snack.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as someone who's been in a restaurant for a while, I know that there's small things like that that you're just like, no, can't ever do that again.
Yeah. Interesting thing about having a being in the family restaurant is the people always ask me if I like I must love Indian food. And the answer is no. I absolutely hate Indian food, and it's
Really?
because of the restaurant. The and it's because the I mean when you're growing up, your mom's food or your dad's food, the home cooking food is your comfort food, right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
And nothing will ever compare to that. But you know that from an intellectual level that nothing will compare to it, and you can temper your expectations when you go to a restaurant, right?
Mhm.
I can't do that. The Because when I compare Indian food, I'm not only comparing it to mom's comfort food, I'm comparing it to mom's professional restaurant food as well. And so when I sit down and eat an Indian meal, I am highly critical of the food and the preparation and the presentation and all that stuff. So
Wow.
yeah, it's
So
hard for me to eat Indian food.
it's not that you don't enjoy it. You obviously enjoy it. It's just
Yeah,
you're highly critical of it. So you're
I am.
not in a moment where you're just like, I want to taste this food. It's like, well, this is made differently. But you also said your mom's comfort food and her professional food. Is there a huge difference? Like, is there some dishes your mom will only make at home and that are not in the restaurant?
She'll make anything that anyone asks for.
Okay.
I mean, she has her set menu and all that kind of stuff. The comfort food at home that she would cook is very typical. I mean, like you don't go to a restaurant to get scrambled eggs and well, yes, you do kind of Denny's and stuff like that. But you don't go to a restaurant and get cereal, right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing. I mean, there are some things that she does do in the restaurant that are really popular because they're comfort food items for the local Indian community, right?
Mhm.
And the so but most of the food that she makes is geared and catered towards the masses, and that's particular cuisine of North India. Uh, the naans and the curries and all that kind of stuff. Those are typical North Indian dishes, and we're not from North India, so the most of our comfort food and the kinds of cuisines that we like are South Indian,
Mhm.
which is very different. I'm mostly vegetarian too.
Oh, interesting.
But you are not, correct?
I am not vegetarian. I'm very far from vegetarian. My wife is vegetarian. My daughter is vegetarian. My son is
Wow.
absolutely not a vegetarian. So meal times
How
get
tricky.
really creative. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Wow.
I've uh, I've had to make that adjustment. My oldest brother, him and his wife. Well, he's not fully vegan. He kind of wavers here and there, but she's fully vegan.
Mm,
So, and I'm usually one of the big chefs for family dinners, and so I usually have to consider that and prepare a couple different dishes just for them.
yeah.
So, I
Mm,
know how difficult that can be as well.
Yeah.
yes. My daughter's thing isn't well, I mean now it is. Now it's a choice, but originally it wasn't a choice because like I said, when we adopted her, the orphanage food was all vegetarian food. It was
Yeah.
like
Mm.
rice and beans and the cheapest types of food that you could get. And initially when we first adopted her and we were fostering her, and we are like trying to get her to try different foods, I mean anything with any kind of that wasn't like blended down into a puree would make her gag and throw up. And
Yeah.
so we were just like we were for years we were afraid to give her anything other than vegetarian food. But now she's made a choice to be vegetarian, although just like what is it, 2 or 3 days ago she said she wants to try bacon. So now we're in trouble if she wants it. My wife's like, okay, you could have bacon, but we're not going to give you bacon as the first meat you ever eat.
Yeah.
That's
Try
setting some
chicken
high,
first.
but eating bacon is also setting high expectations for meat
Yes.
here on out. So
Oh yeah, she's gonna hate all meat otherwise.
I
Wow.
I'm a vegetarian, I'm a vegan other than bacon. Bacon
Other
changed
than
Other
my life
bacon.
forever.
Well, going back to our questions, what do you do outside of content that we don't see?
Um, that you don't see? No, actually, you see pretty much everything. If I'm not making content, I'm playing these games. I'm playing Star Wars Unlimited. I'm playing Magic. I don't make content about it, but I play Dungeons and Dragons. Then I do stuff with my family. That's and then I run this business, right? The deck box business that which is all interconnected with each other, right? The all my hobbies, my side gig, and content creation, they're all part of each other. So it's a very good mesh going on there. So I can make content from everything that I'm doing, and I can use my content to make other things, so, and have fun doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I've always adored about your content is you're pretty much transparent and you're showing all the different aspects of your life. You and Deceptic both do that very well, and you're two people that I enjoy watching. But I didn't, know if that was everything at the end of the day. If there was another thing we weren't seeing, or if you're running a Fortune 500 company and you're just doing this in
Secretly.
your free time.
Yep.
It is my free time. I do have a full-time job, which I do not talk about at all because it's very confidential. I do not talk about my work at all because of that. And
Okay,
Are you a
very
spy?
cool.
I cannot answer that question.
He is a spy. He's a spy.
He's a spy.
He's
Well, what kind of sparked your interest for all things nerdy in gaming, Star Wars in particular?
Star Wars, again, open book. It was my very first Mark Hamill video, right? I put up that was I was born May 13th in 1977. And my parents could not find a babysitter, and they literally took me in to watch Star Wars. As a newborn baby, I slept through the whole thing, but that was my introduction to Star Wars. And so, uh, yeah, that's what got me into Star Wars, I guess. It was probably was a story that flamed it, right? When as I got older, my parents would tell me that story over and over and over again. And anytime any kind of Star Wars content would come up, my parents would recite that story to all their friends and stuff like that. So that story kind of became part of my history and my childhood, and that's what led me into Star Wars in general. And yeah, and like I said, I'm an only child, so I spent a lot of time alone. And being a Gen Xer alone a lot left me with two things: play with friends or play on video games. And I didn't have friends, so the working in a service industry when you're 9, 10 years old, you tend to dislike people in general. So,
Mhm.
so as a result, I did not like people. I did not have friends, and so I played a lot of video games, and that got me into all the nerdy stuff. The But not so much so into card games. And the card games came much, 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 much later in life.
So you can say you were the chosen one in a way, right?
I was.
Well, you
that's
were
just he can't talk about it. Remember?
the Well, no, he was the chosen one. He was taken into the movie theater as Star Wars at such a young age. He was just the chosen one to be the Star Wars 3D
to to
printed
be
man.
to be I was chosen to be the fan.
Yes. It was chosen to be a part of you. The metachlorians were activated at a very young age for you.
Yes,
Mhm.
higher than Master Yoda himself. Oh, that's
Ooh.
something you'll see. I do quote movies a lot. And
Yeah.
just whenever something pops into my head, I'll quote it. So just like that, just like I just did.
I'm excited to hear more. How did you start your 3D printing, and what did you first start printing?
So 3D printing was born out of I'm a tech guy. I growing with video games, tech was I was surrounded by tech, and so the problem with tech, especially back in the 90s, is that there wasn't a lot of room for creativity. It was when I went to college and I said I wanted to go into computers. The My college had just had a programming degree, programming like a development program, and I hated it. It was um, my grasp of the English language was far too good to be any good at programming. The and I hated it. But I so as a result, I have a creative itch that I can't scratch in technology, and so 3D printing was born out of my desire to do something creative. And for the last like 30 years, it's always been woodworking, and
Mm.
like right now, the bench you guys are sitting on is a woodworking bench. It has a table saw built into it. It has a router over there. It has a shop vac down here,
Cool.
and it's a full on workbench. And I even built it to have like I can push a lever down and wheels come out and I can roll it around in my
Yeah.
garage. I've built all kinds of furniture, cabinets. All the stuff my 3D printers is on is stuff that I've built. But the the problem with woodworking is it's loud and it's expensive and it takes time. It's it's if I w- if and being who I am and the way I am with my easily distracted nature, I would start a project in woodworking and never finish it. And I would come back into the workshop and everything was a mess, and because all the tools were laid out the way I walked away from it
Hmm.
like 3 weeks ago. So I've been wanting to get into 3D printing, and just because I said, hey, I could probably make something. And I did. I bought a little 3D printer. I'm looking at it right now, the one that I bought. I bought it 2 years ago. It's literally been 2 years since I bought that machine, and that was my entry into 3D printing, and it changed my world. The Suddenly every creative thought that I have could be something that I'm holding in my hands a few hours later, and it combined another love, which is technology and computers and that kind of thing. So it was a perfect fit to get my creative energy out, to satisfy my desire to continue working with technology and produce something, make something.
Would you say like the biggest thing, especially because of the woodworking, was because of your nature of that creative inspiration where you're coming up with new ideas? It was not, you weren't able to finish one project because of that new idea kind of burning a hole in the back of your head and distracting you from that current one. And then you're like, no, I have to start on that now. I have the creative energy for that. So I'm going to go
Yep.
start that one.
Yep. Yep. Apparently, it's a very common thing with ADHD people, right? I am like hyper focused on something and until I get distracted from it, and then I've forgotten about it for months.
Yep.
So,
But that's cool because now with 3D printing, you can basically have the machine do all the hand working you've been doing while
mhm,
you're now hand working into the program your new creative design. So it's
Hmm.
like now I don't have to
Something's
be
happening
the
all the
full
time.
focus right here
Yeah.
working on this project. I can now let it do its thing and go
mhm,
and start programming a new thing. That's really cool.
yeah. And iterative changes are a lot easier in 3D printing, right? There's a whole joke, right? Measure twice, cut once with
Mhm.
woodworking, right? And but with 3D printing, the all the measurements are accurate right off the bat, and so with woodworking, I would make a piece and it wouldn't fit, and then I have to make it again and again and again,
Mm-hmm.
and each time it's just like I'm literally throwing away so much wood. Like a tree
Yeah.
died so that I could sit here and and make this lever that doesn't freaking work, right? It hurt me whenever I did that,
Yeah.
and it took a lot of time, and there was a lot of waste and a lot of noise and a lot of dust, and I mean, I was literally, before I got into 3D printing, I was literally like looking at air filtration systems for my
Oh,
garage, because of the amount of dust that just gets kicked up
mhm.
from 3D print 3D from the sawdust of cutting wood.
Wow. What's
Oh,
your
but the first thing I ever printed, like, that had a purpose other than, like, I mean, all the stuff you can download for free and print, that stuff is there. But the first thing that I purposefully made with a 3D printer was a little attachment thing to put the extra attachment to my vacuum cleaner onto the
mm,
vacuum cleaner. And that was when I was like, dude, I can make so much stuff with this. And yeah, I was like, okay, I got it.
Real dad energy with that one.
Yeah.
Just tired of hearing the wife complain about missing this. It doesn't fit on the vacuum anymore. I got it. I got it.
yeah.
You.
Yep, that's it.
Awesome.
What are some of your top products and most unique products you've printed?
Yeah, so the top product by and far is this guy. I had it handy. The Turtle Power Deck box. I've literally sold hundreds of them. My
Wow.
printers are constantly running them off. I actually have them all stopped right now so that it doesn't make noise in the background. But yeah, I've probably sold at least 300 of just that Turtle Power Deck box
Wow.
by itself. And then, like, the next highest one would be the Darth Maul one,
Very
one with the
cool.
horns. Oh, and the unique one is this guy that I had handy as well. This one's a passion project. It's an insulin pen case. So I am
Oh,
diabetic, and so I've been injecting insulin. Well, I've been dealing with diabetes my entire life, and I've been injecting insulin every single day, twice a day, for the longest time. And whenever I would travel, I would put my insulin pen and my needles in the toiletry bag, right next to my deodorant and my
yeah.
toothpaste and my toothbrush. And on more than one occasion, and I used to travel a lot for work, which is why this has became such a big problem for me. But on more than one occasion, I've opened up my toiletry bag, and my needle tips had been
Mhm.
punctured by my toothbrush, or by my razor blade, or whatever. Something damaged one of my needle tips, and I couldn't use it. And then I'm like, I'm in another country, or I'm in another state, or I don't have access to anymore. And it absolutely frustrated me. So the my most unique product is a product to address that, and that's this insulin pen case. And it literally just, it opens up like that, and it has my insulin pen in there, and little drawers that twist lock, that so there's all my needle tips
That's so
that are
cool.
that are in there, and magnetically closes. And oh, and he uses the same magnets that I put in this one. But so nothing spills, nothing breaks, nothing gets damaged, and that's the because it's a passion project. It's the only that's the insulin pen case designs are the only ones I give away for free. On my 3D printing on my 3D printing page on Maker World. Those designs are completely free for anyone to download and print if they want, if you have access to a 3D printer.
That's awesome.
I mean, one person actually said that because of the licensing that I had set up for it, they had to ask for permission. And what they wanted to do was print off hundreds of them to give to the children's hospital
Mm.
that's in their area. And like because of the way I had it licensed, even though it was free, the I he couldn't do that with the way I had it with the particular wording of the license. So I actually had to go through and change that the entire license to be completely open source just so he
Mm.
could do that. I don't feel like that's the kind of thing that should be a huge cost for anyone.
Yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
were preventing people from taking your idea and making a profit off it when you're using it as a passion project to give something to people who deal with diabetes and have to use insulin to help them in their day-to-day life. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand why that got triggered, but completely understandable.
So, so now the designs for these are all free and available to anyone who wants to make an insulin pen case and if they need it.
That's awesome. I
Now,
love it.
I had a teacher who had to do daily injections of insulin too, but for those who aren't familiar, what's that like as someone who's been dealing it with as long as you have? Um,
um, there's an aspect of shame to it because the first word that came to my mind when you asked that question was shame. The so because I remember I would always like hide and do it. If I ever had to do it in public, I'd like go to the bathroom and do it.
yeah,
Or things like that. Just do it in private. And it's not like I'm like getting naked for it or anything like that. I'm literally just poking it into my belly or my arm or wherever is convenient at the time. But there was an aspect of shame in there, and I'd always hide it. So yeah, that was a thing. Anyways.
um, but is that something that I mean, obviously, as you matured and older, it's become easier to deal with. But
Oh
for
yeah,
people
yeah.
who may be dealing with that shame, what are some
No.
things that helped you kind of get over it and grow past it?
Um, the thing that I mean, as I grew older, I realized that people don't really care.
Hmm.
If this is something that you're internalizing and you're putting on yourself, and it's not real, people don't care. And those that do care, F them. I mean, you're not, I'm literally trying to save my own life here, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry if it makes you uncomfortable seeing me put a needle in my belly, but this is my life. So
Yeah.
yeah, that came with time and maturity. So if anyone is out there is feeling that there's some shame involved, don't let it be there. Because
Well,
the
thank
either
you for
people
sharing
either
that.
don't care or not, or don't or shouldn't care.
When to think about it too, you didn't really have a choice. Like it happened. You gotta deal with it somehow.
Yep.
Let me live my life.
Yeah. Going back into printing, what are some tips you would give to somebody starting to 3D print?
Um, the if you're looking at starting, I'd probably say the first thing to do is know what your intention is. It may change. It changed for me. But go into it knowing what your intention is because there's like so many different parts. I mean, as with anything, right? I mean, you don't necessarily go into sports just to be the player, to be the athlete, right? You could say, "Oh, I'm into sports medicine. I'm into sports casting. I'm into I'm a coach, whatever." There's so 3D printing isn't just any one thing, and so be aware. Do you want to design things? Do you want to go into some modeling software and create your own designs?
Mm.
And if that's the case, then heck, you don't even need to start with it. You don't even need a 3D printer to start. If you want to just print fun toys, right? You don't care about design, then there's a certain type of caliber printer that you might want to be interested in. And if you don't care about any of that stuff and you just want to be able to sell stuff, that's a whole different thing, right? Again, you won't even need a 3D printer if you just want to sell 3D prints, right? So yeah, be aware what it is that you're actually interested in. Because for me, it started out with I want to print fun toys, and I ended up making all these different functional designs using free software, and they became so useful. And I discovered that it completely replaced my creative habit with woodworking. I'm a creative outlet for woodworking, with this 3D modeling and making these things that people use and love and enjoy and speak highly of. So it can change, but before you go in, like, know what you want to do. If you so you at least get started on the right foot.
You mentioned selling stuff online. For those of you who don't know, NavyCow has a shop. You can go click his link in his description if you're interested in any of his wonderful products. But what are some tips you would give someone who are looking to open an online store?
I don't know if anyone else has them. Give them to me. I, I've literally been doing this for 1 year. I
Okay.
mean, it's like so May 13th, my birthday, right? May
Hmm.
13th is that was my birthday gift to myself, was opening this 3D printing business, the selling business. So I am barely 1 year into this. And so I have no idea how to run an online store. I have no idea how to run a website. The I'm just goofing off right now. I'm just having fun with it and learning everything as I go. So I don't have any advice. The I mean, if you want to start a shop, the best place to do it right now is Etsy, right? If you're making stuff, right? I mean, the vast majority of my sales come from Etsy. And they do all the hard work for you. They do the marketing for you. They do the web hosting for you. They do the sales tax for you,
Hmm.
right? The and and it's a marketplace, right? It's your one store in the shopping mall of Etsy, and people don't come to Etsy for you. They just happen to see you while they're at Etsy, right? So it's that's what I do, is keep it simple like that. Because once you leave a marketplace um like Etsy or the TikTok shop, because I'm TikTok shop is my second biggest marketplace. The Everything's on you. Everything, like all the marketing is on you. Nobody knows to go to navycow.com to get a deck box, right? They go to Etsy, they go to TikTok shop, they do a Google search for a deck box, right? They're not saying oh, hey, who's this NavyCow guy? And no, they don't, no one knows me. The marketplace is where that's all at. Otherwise, you have to sit there and you have to spend tons and tons and tons and tons of money on advertising. And I guess that's one thing I would probably say: be aware of how much it costs to run an ad. It is
Yeah.
expensive.
Hmm.
If anyone wonders why things cost so much in online stores and stuff like that, it is the advertising. I sell this guy for $35. At least 15 to $20, depending on the time, is advertising. And another seven of it is shipping. Right. So the margins get really small really fast, all because of advertising.
By the way,
Right.
anybody who's complaining $35 for a custom deck box like that is crazy. First of all, because you can buy the basic, it's I love their products, Gamegenic, but like this thing alone is like 35 bucks, and it is just a clear see-through box. So, um, you are paying for not only quality and creativity, but you're also supporting small creative people like yourself. And when you say they don't think of you when they think of 3D printing deck boxes, I do. I know a lot of 3D printers in the community and I follow a lot of them. But when I hear 3D deck box, 3D printed deck box, I think of my boy NavyCow. So
Mhm.
Thank you.
you got
Appreciate
me
it.
at least.
When did you start? When did you know to open up an Etsy shop, an Etsy account, whatever?
Um,
Is that your first thing you
when
did?
kind of, yeah.
Okay.
So like I said, all this stuff goes hand in hand, right? Everything connects to each other.
Hmm.
And so this all started because I started playing Star Wars Unlimited. And with Star Wars Unlimited, unlike Magic, the Star Wars Unlimited has official tokens, like the plus ones and minus ones and all that kind of stuff. They're official ones that Game Genic actually makes, and they come in a bag. They come in a stupid little bag, and it really aggravated me going through. And you get this little box, this little plastic, like it's like I don't know, like it's just this cheap folded plastic box that you get for free whenever you go to like events and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And then you just throw them all in there. And I'm sitting there like digging in there, trying to find that one particular token that I'm looking for. It frustrated me to no end. And that's what that's where my entire business was born, when I made a little tray to hold all those tokens and keep them organized. More of my ADHD stuff there, but keep them all organized in so I could easily just pull one of them out. And I designed it to fit inside the GameGenic deck pod. It's a little deck box and it has this little drawer underneath it. And so I designed it all to fit in that little drawer. And that design is for free and available still. The but yeah, that was where it was born, and people kept saying, "Hey, you should sell this. You should sell this. You should sell this." And I'm like, "Okay, where the hell do I go to sell it?" And Etsy was where I ended up.
That's awesome. Etsy. It seems like it's a very well thought out and good platform for sellers, from what I've seen and heard.
I mean, it's not without its problems, but considering what they do and the type of the amount of people that they have going through there, I mean, I'm probably the most sympathetic and empathetic person in the world. So I never get mad at anyone, and so I see all the complaints, right? And I'm like, dude, it's got to be rough. It's got to be hard to do this. So I am nothing but complimentary to Etsy, because it's got to be a hard thing to do, and it works. It's may not be the best, but it works, and I mean, I enjoy it, so
Mm,
I'm fine with it.
awesome. Well, we talked about. Oh, did you have a question?
No, go ahead.
Oh, we talked a little bit about Magic and playing Star Wars. You said you didn't get into cards later in life. When did you start playing Magic?
Less than a year ago,
Really?
Magic. Yeah. I I avoided Magic like it was a disease. I was very well aware of Magic ever since I was a little kid, and so much so, just so you know, um, my mom's restaurant in Los Angeles is right next door to a card game store,
Ooh.
Oh,
or a game store. And
Ooh.
that game store was there when I was a kid growing up. That's how long that game store has been there. We're playing these
love that.
board games and card games and stuff like that. So I was very aware of Magic. back then, and it was I avoided it like it was a disease because it was the game that nerdy people played, and I did not want to be associated with them. I wanted a girlfriend, and
Mhm.
I didn't think I would get have a girlfriend if I was a Magic player. So I spent most of my life actively avoiding Magic, even after I got married. And yeah, the it wasn't until um Star Wars Unlimited that I even start looked at card games in general. I even gave it a second look. My friend of mine, he lives across the street. He was my introduction to all of this stuff, and he tried to get me into Magic, and I was just like, ugh, this is so dumb. We played a game, and this is so dumb, and like there's so many words and so many rules, and this thing does that, and he tried the whole joke. Oh, you read the card, explains the card. Yeah,
Card.
go to hell, man. It does not. the but yeah, and afterwards, his wife like asked me like, "Are you really going to get into this?" And I'm like, no. And then one year later, he tells me, "Hey, did you hear there's a Star Wars card game coming out?" And I'm like, "No." And that's when I got into card games. It was 2 years ago. And yeah, and then last year, the because now I understand card games.
Mhm.
Last year when the Final Fantasy set came out is where I got into Magic, was solely for Final Fantasy. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna buy this Final Fantasy, and I'll get this precons, the Cloud Limit Break precon is the one I got, and that'll be it. That'll be what I do with Magic. And then they're like, then there was this big question mark on the calendar. I'm like, what the hell is this question mark? And it was Avatar. And I'm like, oh, F you guys. And now I'm just in. Now I'm just in. It's
Hook, line, and sinker.
yeah. So I
Oh,
am very, very, very partial to Universes Beyond as a result
yes,
of
I can
that.
imagine so. Um, since you are a Star Wars Unlimited player, and that's where you got your first introduction to TCGs,
Mhm.
and you started Magic maybe a year after that,
Mhm.
what are some of the similarities and differences between the games itself?
Um, Similarities, they're both card games. They both have the whole color combination aspect to them. They so there's I mean the whole idea behind them is the same. You play a card, you try and do damage to the other person. The I think I said this before, but it's to a casual person, a person that has no idea about card games in general, they will look identical. They will be completely the same. To my wife, they are the same damn thing. It's just one has Star Wars pictures on it, one has Avatar pictures on it. They're identical to her, but to someone that plays them, they are vastly different in terms of gameplay, in terms of pacing. The only things that they share is a few colors. you know, the and not even all the colors. Star Wars has 6 colors, but
Oh,
yeah, that's it. I also played Lorcana
ooh,
for a while.
Ooh.
My daughter got into Lorcana, but and then she got out of Lorcana. But yeah, they're very different. The pacing is very different, my favorite thing about Star Wars over Magic is the pacing, and that's one action per turn. Right. I get bored playing Commander. Bored. And as someone with ADHD, when my turn's over, I'm in another room. I'm not I am not paying attention to the game. I am not I even if I'm physically there, my mind is somewhere else at that
yeah.
point. But with Star Wars Unlimited, it's you make the move and your turn is done, right? Now it's their turn to respond. There are no instants in Star Wars Unlimited. Right, there are no instants. The only thing that can happen as a response in Star Wars is if it's written on the card and
Hmm.
you read it on the card. It says when attacked, this will happen, right? So
Okay.
so even if you're making the move, you know what's about to come back at you at that time. The strategy is very, very different because of that. And that does also translate into the multiplayer version called Twin Suns. It's one move per turn. And you do it just in a group of four, and you take turns, and you're not sitting around waiting for your turn to come around. So yeah.
And correct me if I'm wrong, in Star Wars Unlimited, regardless of the format you're playing, you choose like a general, right? Like you're playing a commander, you pick a certain character to
Mhm.
be the lead of your deck. And
Yeah.
then from there on, are you just essentially just establishing troops in a battlefield to eventually
Um,
win?
I
That's as
guess
far as my
fundamental.
Star Wars Unlimited knowledge goes.
Okay. It's so you have your commanders that have the color combinations on them, right? And those are the colors that you can play. Those
Mhm.
are in Star Wars. That's determined by your leader, the leader card, and the base that you choose.
Okay.
And the base has one color or no color. The base will have one color or no color, and then the leader will have uh, one or two colors themselves. So at max, you're dealing with three colors in Star Wars, and those are the cards that you can play without a penalty. The If you try and play it, if your leader is black and white and your base is red, if you try and play a yellow card, it's going to cost you extra. You're going to have to tap extra
Hmm.
to play that card. So you can have the variety of decks that you can build out of that is crazy, because of that, because you can have Vader as your leader, but if you choose a blue base or a red base or a green base, that changes your entire deck, right? And changes what cards you can play and how you build that deck. So it's fun, and it's very different. Like, if you in Commander, you know what cards what cards you have to play, and and you can't play an out of aspect card. Right?
Hmm.
It's not an option, right? In Star Wars, it is an option. If you think it's worth it to spend an extra three to or extra two to play this red card in your green deck, you can do it.
Hmm.
Wow.
Like that
So
freedom.
it's not yeah, it's not restricted, but you are penalized technically for
Yeah.
playing a card outside your colors. So
Yep.
is that more for the draft format and they just applied it to the regular game, do you think? Or
Oh no, it's built in. Because
okay,
like right now, the one of the recent sets added a new mechanic to the bases. The bases are generally 30 health. But some specialized bases have their own actions that you can only do once. And one of the recent sets the base has like 27 health, and its epic action is that you can play an out of aspect card for free.
Mm.
oh,
The and But you can only do it once. You can only do it once, and then your epic action is spent. But it is an option, and but you do pay for that with 3 life right off the at this before the game even starts to do that.
How many
And then there's
cards?
some bases that have no colors at all, the bases that have no color have like 34, 35 health to start with the game with. But then you only have two colors that you can build your deck with.
got it.
Hmm.
And how many cards are in a standard deck per
Standard
side?
deck 50,
Okay,
and then you can sideboard 10
cool.
if you're competitive. The premier format.
Very cool. I know we kind of touched on this a little bit, but have you noticed a huge difference between the two communities?
Yeah. We touched on it at the very beginning of this, right? I
Yeah.
think before we even started the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, from my experience, and it is obviously anecdotal, and it's my own experience. I don't claim to say anything about anyone else's experiences, but my experience is that is Magic players are harsher than Star Wars Unlimited players, and maybe that's because Star Wars Unlimited players are every Star Wars Unlimited player that I play with is a refugee from Magic. And there are people that have stopped playing Magic because they felt it was toxic, and maybe that's why they're non-toxic in Star Wars. But yeah, every person I've played with in Star Wars Unlimited has been an amazing person and a kind person and a helpful person. I've not had a bad experience once in the last 2 years of playing Star Wars Unlimited almost every week. Um, Whereas I've gone to the LGS literally once for Magic and had two bad experiences at one time. In
Yeah.
that one visit, and then I just see people talking about it, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's something to this. It's not gonna keep me away from it. But I don't want to walk in there with my pants down again and be
Yeah.
unprepared for mean people. I can handle mean people if I know that they're there. Right? But after a year of Star Wars Unlimited and all the niceness there and the welcoming and all that kind of stuff, the getting smacked in the face by not a bunch, two people in Magic was enough for me. Like, okay, I need to take a step back and prepare myself for this onslaught.
Demographic wise, as far as age, men and women, have you noticed, are they similar? Are they different?
Well, the communities are much smaller, right?
Mhm.
The Magic is way, way, way bigger. So I think that the only way to measure it would be as a percentage. I definitely see more women playing Star Wars Unlimited than I see playing Magic. I definitely see way more women playing Lorcana than either of the other two. Well, at least I did before when I was still playing Lorcana. But the age wise, the age of Star Wars Unlimited is probably a little less than Magic players.
Really?
Magic players I've seen are at least in my LGS, or the last couple of LGSs I've been to, have generally been older. Um, and the Star Wars Unlimited is usually, I mean, it's like a
Yeah.
very overlapping Venn diagram, right?
Yeah.
It's maybe a slight youth age to the Star Wars Unlimited group, and a significant youth age difference for the Lorcana group. Kids just love Disney, so
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't have Lorcana in my LGS going on anymore, unfortunately. But that was a cool little spike of seeing a different demographic than I
yeah,
was used to, other than, the thousands of little boys running around on Pokemon
yeah.
pre-release weekend. But going back to your experience with Magic and your experiences with Star Wars, obviously, I think the biggest experience you had was the lack of patience experience players showed to you. But what ways, as us as a Magic community, when we do go to these events, would you, as a newer player, would like to see that you see from the Unlimited crowd?
Um, Definitely a little grace for those that are new. Now, one thing I realized as we're talking about this is that it's entirely possible that the one individual that I played with that never said a word to me may have been neurodivergent himself, right?
Mhm.
And maybe verbal communication was harder for him. So I'm going to offer a little bit of grace myself on that one. Um, but yeah, the with I Star Wars Unlimited was my very first card game in general. So I walked into it completely blind, right? I had more experience as a card game player going into Magic than I did going into Star Wars Unlimited, right? Because I had at least played Star Wars Unlimited. It was my first game. So going into Magic, I felt way more overwhelmed and way under supported by the community going into it. And even though I went in completely blind. I mean, I had to ask my friend who introduced me. I had to ask my friend to come with me the very first day I went to the LGS to play Star Wars Unlimited because I was that nervous and scared and felt unsupported and I didn't know anything about it. And the second I sat down and started playing with these guys, they all knew. I told them all I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play any card game. I was saying it for months when I was playing that I have no. This is my first card game ever. I don't know how to play. I don't know the rules. I don't know any of that kind of stuff. And everybody was always understanding and always helpful. And no one once ever made me feel bad about it. Yeah, I think that's something that needs to happen in the Magic community as well, because there's a lot of new Magic players.
Yeah.
I mean, Universes Beyond is bringing in a ton of new Magic players, and it's unavoidable. It's going to happen. This is their business plan, right? Like it or not, the Universes Beyond is making money. It's selling, and it's bringing in people. And those people are going to need help. They are going to need people that have been playing for years and years to have patience with them to help them understand the game, or else they're just going to walk away, right? And I mean, like I did, right? If I didn't have my personal support system for Magic with my friends, my individual in person friends, I would have left Magic. I would have put my Final Fantasy cards in a binder, put it right next to all my Star Wars Unlimited binders, and I never would have looked at Magic again.
That's unfortunate to hear. I hope that one day we can get together and do the whole LGS Magic Gaming in person
Yeah,
together, and we can hopefully improve that experience. But I would also love to meet up sometime and learn some Unlimited because it sounds like a blast.
yeah. It is a ton of fun. Yeah, I'd love to teach. Mhm.
That's awesome. If you could meet any celebrity to play Magic or Unlimited with, who would it be?
Mark Hamill.
Yeah. Yep.
For those of you who
He,
don't
he can he
know,
can wish me a happy birthday. If I could get Mark Hamill to play Star Wars Unlimited with me on my 50th birthday, I could die happy at at 50. If the moon and the stars, everything would be in alignment for me on that one. Thank you for the question.
yeah, no, this was the main reason why I put in here. I wanted a shameless plug for an opportunity to say, everybody, if you get an opportunity, please go check out NavyCow's channel and go to his videos every day. He is posting, trying to get Mark Hamill's attention to wish him a happy 50th birthday. We're on. You said what? We're on day 29.
Today is day 30. I
Day
posted day
30.
30 right before joining you guys.
So we still have a little more than 300 days to go, but I mean,
Yep.
the more we can bump this into the algorithm, hopefully it
Mm-hmm.
comes across his desk and we can get it for him by the 50th. But
Yeah.
that would be so cool, man,
That'd be awesome.
to be able to not only meet Mark Hamill but play the game with him.
Yeah, I know, right? I didn't
He's
even think about that.
he's got
I,
to
I
have some
didn't even
cards,
that
right?
now I am definitely going to integrate that into my videos about it, and it's gonna be updated. Mark Hamill, play Star Wars Unlimited with me for my 50th birthday. It's going. I'm just gonna do that now.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. I mean, this could be the most chalk question of all time, or it could be a surprising question. Who's your favorite Star Wars character?
Um, Ahsoka Tano.
Okay.
The for the longest time it was Vader.
Okay.
And then the Clone Wars happened, and it quickly became Ahsoka Tano. But not by much. Not by
Mhm.
much. I feel like Vader's story is tragic and sad and all that kind of stuff. But I just put up a video about how how Vader's story is not exactly the most tragic one.
Yeah.
I think Obi-Wan's is more tragic than Vader's, but or Skywalker's. But Ahsoka Tano I is my absolute favorite because her story, her journey, her growth throughout the entire universe happening there is so well thought out and so fleshed out, right? I mean, I don't know who all has or hasn't seen all of the media, but she has a very, very, very long and very complex and very detailed history, and she's probably the second best lightsaber duelist out there. Um,
Who's number one?
Skywalker.
Okay.
Yeah,
Now,
but she was trained
now,
by Anakin, so that's
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Now, do you think it's Ahsoka because of also her having to deal with Anakin as her master? Is that like another added to it because you love Vader so much? It just like added that extra little bit of flavor to it.
maybe,
Hmm.
maybe yeah. I mean, it's like the apprentice supersedes the child. What is the child goes above the parent? Something like that. There's a saying about that. I'm drawing a blank on, but maybe.
I mean, I'm a big fan of the Clone Wars. I agree. Ahsoka's story told throughout that whole thing while dealing with like Anakin and his
Mhm.
internal struggles, and her basically, yeah, essentially like one trying to get advice and grow from Anakin, and then having to turn and do it to him was
Mhm.
kind of cool.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, as far as movies, how are we ranking our movies?
How are you ranking the movies? So
Are you a
I
purist?
No, I'm not a purist. My personal feeling on is I don't like the sequel trilogy, but not. This is kind of weird. I don't like Star Wars for the typical reasons that most kids and people like Star Wars. The Most people are like, ooh, blasters and pew pew, laser beams and action, adventure, swashbuckling, those types of things. But ooh, swashbuckling in space. For me, the interesting thing about Star Wars was the political intrigue, and it's very different, and it's probably shocking to anyone who's watching that says political intrigue. No, it was a line by Tarkin in the very first movie, when they're on the Death Star, and I was watching it as a kid, rewatching it as a kid, and Tarkin says the Emperor has dissolved the Senate, and that line stuck out with me way back then when I was like 6 or 7 years old, something really young. I didn't even know what a Senate was. Right. I didn't know. I mean, I knew what an emperor was. We never met the emperor. But I was like, what is that? And for some reason that stuck out to me. It was this political thing. And I always wondered about it. And I started reading the books. I read all the Timothy Zahn books and stuff like that to try and get more of how the emperor came into power. That's what I really, really wanted to know. And then the prequels gave me that. They gave me that in spades, and so I don't rank them. I look at the whole big picture and how it. If I'm looking at them standalone, then yeah, the last three are my least favorites. But the last three didn't have that political intrigue, but it did give me a taste of it, right? I When I watched the sequel trilogy, I was like, wait, what the hell happened to the Republic? What? How is it? Why is there a resistance? Why are the good guys the underdogs again all of a sudden? And I didn't understand it, but I'm getting little bits and pieces of it now with all these shows that are filling in the gaps, like the arrogance of the New Republic that led to its downfall that we didn't even see. We never even got to see in the movies. So I'm really looking forward to Dave Filoni and all those guys filling in those gaps for me, because I want to know the political machinations that happened.
Mm.
I said, I want to know how the emperor got to power. I want to know how Darth Plagueis got into his thing, and all of that stuff. The power struggles and the trade war with the Federation, and so yeah, that's why I like Star Wars, and I can't rank them as a result of that. As far as like popcorn watching ability, yeah, Empire's got to be up there, but I view Star Wars holistically with all of the media, the books, the TV shows, the movies, and I judge it based upon that and not like an individual movie, because none of the movies except A New Hope were intended to be viewed in a vacuum.
That is a
Yeah.
very refreshing take coming from a Star Wars fan that doesn't have a particular movie or collection of movies that they dislike with such vitriol.
Yeah,
It's very refreshing.
I have all the same criticisms, right? It was poorly
Yeah.
written, and yeah, I have all that. But I mean, all the movies were poorly written in some way or another, right? Like I said, it's about the bigger picture, the holistic view of the universe that I'm getting out of this. So,
Mhm. Very
Okay.
true.
Well, getting into some more of the soft, squishy questions. Um, what's a moment where the community support genuinely surprised you?
um, I I believe, maybe naively, my wife thinks I'm naive for it, but I believe in the goodwill of man. I believe that people are kind, in general, or they want to be kind. I don't think people are mean or don't try to be mean. So I will say that I can't think of a time when the community support was surprising. The I I was more surprised the times when it wasn't supportive, like the time with me. The and so yeah, every single time like someone's like, "Hey, I need help. I have this issue, that issue. Oh, there's a GoFundMe." I've never once been surprised with the outpouring of love and support that the community has offered to everyone that needed it. I'm not surprised by it at all.
Um, it's a good outview to have on life there. I
It's a
mean,
hard one to have.
it is a hard one
Um,
to have, especially when you get let down. But I mean, there's so many times when we're already thinking the worst possible thing, or we're thinking negatively, just you know,
yeah,
out of
yeah.
habit, and our pessimistic attitude that has somewhat instilled in some of us due to media and whatnot. But that's refreshing also to hear that, you know, you
I
do.
read it somewhere that everyone that you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about.
Yeah.
right? And I take that to heart a lot. And because the fact of the matter is, I don't know what your experiences are. I have not lived your experience. And even if you sat there and wrote a biography, and I read that biography, I was never in your shoes. I was not raised by the people that raised you, right? I didn't live where you live. I was not shaped by the experiences that you have to be able to have a particular worldview. And so I don't feel like I could properly judge someone else based upon their actions, because I haven't lived their life. I haven't been in their shoes. I can never be in their shoes. It's simply impossible to live someone else's life unless you're Picard. I don't know if anyone's seen that episode where he got transported back into someone else's body and lived their whole life. But in Star Trek, sorry, I'm a nerd through and through.
Right.
But the episode is called Inner Light. If you haven't seen it, go look it up on Star Trek: The Next Generation. But you haven't lived anyone else's life. You don't know the experiences that they've been through. You don't know what's happened to them. And like I said, even if they wrote a biography, you still haven't experienced it. You just know what they feel. So I'm very, very forgiving of people in general. And that's also why I believe in the goodwill of man, right? It all ties back together. It's also why I don't usually get into the same kind of road rages that my wife does, like driving. I like, why is this guy driving? Like, well, maybe he has like a sick kid, or maybe he's having like a bad day, or he has a headache, whatever it is, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and she gets mad at me because I'm making excuses for this complete stranger. So
Yeah. But that is some the I guess it's the balance. It's the Buddhist way, the middle path theory. It's the balance
yeah.
between the two. You may be on the one extreme side, and your wife might be on the other, but there might be the truth somewhere that lies between.
Yep.
I love that. I'm a little experience, and it's something that I'm trying to do better too about having those intent like not non-judgeable thoughts, I should say, like thinking the best. One of those things I keep remembering or thinking about is when you're stuck in traffic, are you worried about how long it's going to take you to get where you're going, or are you worried about if there was an accident above in front? Are you worried that they're okay, or are you too focused on needing to get where you need to go? I'm trying to work on more of like being humble and thinking about the people rather than worrying much about myself. And I like that you have that mindset, and I bet it's like we talked about. I bet it's hard, but I think that's amazing.
Yeah, some people make it hard to have that feeling, right? There are people in this world that I it's very, very hard to give the benefit of the doubt to on this way. I try.
Love it.
The inconvenience this person is causing me may be having a bigger inconvenience going on in their life that I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, as a father and as someone who seems to be very, like you said, believes in the good of men, what is some of the best advice you have ever gotten, or what is some advice that you pass down to your kids?
Um, the best advice I pass down to my kids, you'll probably have to ask my kids, and that's long after I'm gone, right? Because the whatever I've said to them, I've said a lot of things to them, and only certain things are going to stick, right? And years after I'm gone, they'll come back and they'll think about, oh, the best thing my dad ever told me was this, but I don't know what it is, and I would never be able to figure that out. The best advice I ever got myself was from an old boss of mine, who fired me for talking back to him. But before that incident, he had told me, like, it was my first real job in tech, and he told me, know what you don't even know what you don't know. Like, you have there's and it was this concept that it's not just that you don't know what you don't know, it's that because you don't know it, you don't even know how far away you are from it, right? It's not that you
Yeah.
don't know something is over there. You don't even know how far away it is and how much time it's going to take to get to it. It's a complete mystery to you. And because of that, I focus entirely on growth as much as I can, growing as a person, growing as a father, growing as a child, right? As growing as the as a child of people, right? The growing as a husband, growing as an employee, personal growth, professional growth, those kind of things. Those are the things that guide me, and that's improving myself around in those areas that I can do, and it's all because that one jackwagon of a boss told me that I don't know what I don't know.
Funny. The negative experiences can be sometime the biggest experiences and biggest life lessons we've always learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, was when you obviously got fired from that position, were you in a very negative mindset about that whole experience and it took you years to kind of reflect on what you
Oh,
learned from that? Okay.
oh yeah, that realization of the word stuck in my head, right? It
Mhm.
was just like Tarkin saying the Emperor has dissolved the Senate. The words were burned into my brain, and I didn't understand the value of those words until many years later. God, I don't know. I mean, maybe like 15, 20 years later. And it's kind of weird to remember this one sentence that an asshole boss told you that long ago. And I swore, and I was trying not to swear on this thing.
Oh,
Uh, I got cut from my high school basketball team, and I didn't look back on it until I didn't talk to my coach for 5 years and ended up being an assistant coach for him and finally having the real conversation of why I ended up getting cut and that being the reason of why I was coaching and trying to make an impact on the youth was I wasn't putting in the effort and I can only expect to get the effort I was putting into it. And I wasn't putting in the effort, and the effort that I got put was getting kicked off the team. So
Yeah. Yep.
those are always good lessons to learn, though. And when you can go back years later and turn a negative experience into a positive one, or at least a lesson, I should say.
yeah. Oh, but
No, you're good.
um, what is something you wish people asked you but never do?
Mm, I'm sure there's something, but it hasn't been asked, so I can't think of it.
You never know. You don't know how far away you are
Yeah.
from it.
And I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
Mm.
So, you're asking me to come up with something I don't know. Um, yeah, seriously, I don't know. I mean, everything about me is generally up there, right? The nothing. If anyone has a question, I'm more than happy to answer it. Yes.
One thing was that you were into D&D. You said you're not really
Oh
advertising that
yes,
on TikTok. So you're
that's
into
true. That is something I'm
D&D.
not. Yes, I am into D&D. But I did talk about that on this already. But yeah, I play D&D with some friends. And I'm in two different D&D campaigns that alternate every other week. So that's something that I do. And I have a lot of fun with it. And I don't make any content about it. I probably should. How can I work Mark Hamill into D&D?
I think there's a lot of people who would enjoy that content in our Magic community.
Yeah.
Who
Now,
go
now
ahead.
I do have a question while we're on the topic of the D&D. What are your characters? What class are you playing? What race? I need to know these things.
Okay, so my very first character ever was a character named Gridoris, who was a human warrior. And in the campaign, the very last like action, like the last chapter of the campaign, um my character sacrificed himself to save the city. And it was like really really dramatic because I was trying to catch these bad guys, and this dragon was like, I'm just going to roast them. And the dragon was like literally about to roast them dead, and I was like chasing after them. And oh no, I wasn't chasing. I was blocking them from running away. And so he roasted them, and I was in the dragon fire, and I had to do like 5 saving throws like that, and I still died at the end of it all. I took like hundreds of points of damage, right? And I missed the last saving throw by like one, and I was like, my
Hmm.
character died. Sorry. So long story short, the two characters I'm playing are Gridorus Jr. and Gridorus the Second.
Oh.
And I have a backstory for both of them in that both of them believe that they are the sons of the Gridorus, but only one is.
Oh.
And so there's so like it's funny, the DM's like, we need to do a crossover event
Yeah.
because of this between the two
Yeah.
campaigns.
You
Yes,
running two characters at the
absolutely.
same time though, it gets
Yeah.
a little rough.
Oh, no, it's not at the same time, right? It's
Oh,
just
okay.
it's every other week. It's every week I have to change roles, but it's Gridorus Jr. or Gridorus the Second. But they're both of them are half orcs, obviously, right?
Mhm.
Because Gridorus was a human and had a secret love child with an orc, so they're both half
Yeah.
orcs. One's a paladin and one's a monk, and
Oh.
Mm.
the they both come from different places in the world, and they both have memories of their mom talking about their dad, and stuff like that, and how he saved the city and all that kind of stuff. So there's something there, and they both know of the other and think that the other is an imposter.
Now the question I have for you, because I've done something kind of similar with a D&D character's backstory, but do you know the truth of who the real heir is, or does the
I do.
DM know? Okay,
No,
okay.
the DM does not know. None of
Aha.
the other players know. And I want to say it, but I can't because the DM might be watching. And DM's a friend
Yeah.
of mine,
Yep.
right? Hey Ed, how you doing? Ed has opened up a PAX on my channel before.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. That's very awesome. I love building backstories into the game.
Hmm. Love it.
What is we talked about several things. We obviously talked about D&D, your woodworking, but what is something you're interested in that people may not know?
They may not know.
Talked about Lorcana a little bit. You showed a little bit Lorcana on the channel, but not too much.
No, not too much Lorcana stuff because I stopped playing it. It's too hard to maintain all these games,
Yeah.
and Star Wars will never be cut. Um, the uh, so what is something that I'm into? All all sci-fi. I'm not. I mean, if you know anything about me now, by now you should know that I'm not. I don't take sides, and I don't. So this whole like Star Wars, Star Trek debate, and like, nah, it's stupid. I like them both, for different reasons, and I enjoy both of them. And I like The Expanse. I like Battlestar Galactica, and I absolutely hate um, dramas, and I hate reality TV.
Mm.
And oh man, do I hate reality TV!
Not
But
even a little bit. You don't even like it a little bit.
not even a little bit. Not a single one. I mean, it started with the Real World, and never ever liked any of it since. And even watching the like TikToks and these all these reels that come up, I'm always critical of them. Always, I'm like, dude, that's stage. That's not real.
Mhm.
That's it's.
Mm.
I'm like, just grown at them all. I might laugh at some of them if they're funny, but in general, those kind of staged reels, I'm just not into. So,
You know what's really funny is I just started recently learning, probably this past year, that a lot of those like viral reels are all staged and they're not like this crazy story where this guy is dating a twin or something and
yeah,
she comes to her apartment by mistake or something weird. It's all these AI videos that are getting me now.
yeah, it's crazy. Oh, don't get me started on AI. Oh man. Yeah, being in the tech industry, I gave you my industry. But I'm not in the tech industry. I'm a tech person in a different industry.
Yeah.
The but yeah, being in tech, there's a lot about AI that I have opinions about.
Yep. Everybody does.
Yep. What or who has been your biggest inspiration in your life?
Biggest inspiration in my life. Um, the safest answer is my wife. I
Yeah.
mean, for sure, my wife. My wife and I have been through a lot together. And we have we've been through things that I don't think most people could go through. And we did it because we worked together and we inspired each other to do it. So, um, it's the thing I'm most proud of is my relationship with my wife and how hard we've worked to be where we are. And yeah, the biggest inspiration is my wife and the relationship that we work together to build.
Oh yeah. The important thing to have. I mean, obviously, how long have you been with your wife, if you don't mind me asking?
Uh, 21 years.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
So yeah, obviously at that point, they've they made some very good impact on you. Um, Last question we have for you before we start opening up um to other questions and to the chat. What are your plans and goals for the growth of your channel and content?
Um, no plans, no goals. The the I I don't do anything unless I have fun doing it. And um, I how do I put this? I defied my parents a long time ago when they told me to go into medicine or they told me to go into engineering, those kind of things. And I said, screw that, I'm going into computers. And I already talked about this. My experience with computers was bad in college. Right. So I ended up with a degree in economics for what that's worth. But I still went into computers and I defied my parents doing it. And ever since I started my career, I have not worked a day in my life. And and so every day I go to work, it's fun. I have fun doing it. And regardless of which company it was, regardless if it was the boss that fired me, even that job, I had fun doing it. And the job that I didn't have fun doing, I quit. So the only reason I do anything is if it's fun. I, and so I make content because it's fun. I make deck boxes because it's fun. The I I sell them. That's great. It makes money, but it's not what's paying the bills, right? So yeah, it's great, but it's not. I wouldn't do it unless it was fun, unless it gave me some kind of enjoyment out of it. And so yeah, the second anything stops being fun, I will stop doing it. And so that's why there's no plans for growing the channel. The I just literally just have fun making videos. I no plans to grow the business. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. As long as I'm having fun doing it, doing it. I've discontinued a million different boxes because they weren't fun, or because I didn't like them, because of the amount of waste that they produce. Right, 3D printing is very wasteful. But so I've discontinued box after box because I wasn't having fun making them. I wasn't having fun watching throwing away all this plastic. And so I mean, I literally designed these boxes to do the least amount of waste, 3D printing waste. They're literally designed to do that. So yeah, that's that. I don't have a plan for it. It's just have fun, do what I can for other people, do what I can for my family, and if I can do it, having fun, I'm going for it.
Well, yeah,
I
we'll
love
keep it up because I enjoy watching the content. So as long as that's what it takes to keep getting the videos that come out from your channel, that's all I'm asking for.
Yep. One day you'll get Mark Hamill to play.
And then
Yes.
and then I'll stop then. If
It'll
Mark
be then you'll
Hamill
be complete.
plays Star Wars Unlimited with me, I will
Yep.
be complete,
Yep.
and then I will be one with the Force.
Mm-hmm. I love it.
Now we want like a true Mark Hamill birthday, not like a cameo Mark Hamill birthday, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I could do a cameo, right? I could.
I wouldn't be
Well, you know,
mad.
I don't know if he's on Cameo or not. I haven't even
No,
looked.
I haven't looked either, but
But yeah, no, it's. Um, I would. I want Mark Hamill to know my name.
Know it and say it.
Say my
Just
name.
hear it.
say my name.
Yep.
Yeah, and not a
What's your name?
cameo though. No.
Tony.
I love it.
He's gonna make an AI video of himself doing it just to piss me off.
I love that.
Well, chat, that was it for our questions. Does anybody have any? I know there were some asked during the live, so we'll ask them now. So then the viewers, I don't think they're here anymore, but they can watch it later. Domo asked, "Did you play the Star Wars TCG, the old one, not the new ones?"
No, I did not play the old one, and one because I didn't know it existed,
Mhm.
and two, even if I did know it existed, well, no, I can't say that with any certain level of certainty because
Mm.
my love of Star Wars transcends my hatred of card games and nerd. And back then there was a difference between a geek and a nerd.
Yep.
If you know, it would transcend my hatred of geekiness. I was always a nerd, and geeks were played card games. So I probably would have played it if I knew it existed at the time.
I think you ended up eventually answering this one, but one lame frog said, "Okay, but when Star Trek comes out, are you going to drop Star Wars?" And I think no, Star
No.
Wars is here to stay. Now,
Yeah.
my question is, I know you said you're not a favor one or the other, but would you prefer it to be Star Wars or Star Trek Universes Beyond for Magic? Because I know you made it.
I'm quite happy with with Star Trek and Universes Beyond and Star Wars Unlimited being its own game. That said, if Star Wars came into Magic, I would still play Star Wars Unlimited.
Mm.
Now, would you go as crazy for it if they did a Universes Beyond in Star Wars, or it's just like, I still got unlimited, not too crazy for it?
No, I would definitely collect it, and I would definitely play it and stuff like that. But I wouldn't stop playing Star Wars Unlimited just because I like the game better than I like Magic.
Okay. I have a question about your experience. We kind of got into it, the communities of Magic and Star Wars Limited. What is your opinions and thoughts about the rules? Obviously, Magic has been here for a long time, so they got a lot of rules about everything, and it's hard to track everything. Star Wars Limited is new, so it's got less rules. I don't know how much there is, but how easy is it to remember and understand the rules of Star Wars Unlimited compared to Magic?
Um, I went into it blind, right? So the learning the rules of Star Wars Unlimited was not challenging at all,
Okay.
and that was coming from zero experience with card games, right? The I learned the rules very, very quickly, and but I getting good at the game that takes forever. But the rules I learned very, very quickly, and with Magic, I've been playing for almost a year now, and I have no idea. Like the rules are just all over the place, and that's me. That's after me having card game experience and Magic experience. That the rules are still crazy to get through. But I mean, it's not fair to Magic to judge it based
Yeah.
on that, right? I mean, Star Wars Unlimited has the benefit of all of the years of experience that Magic has had
Hmm.
with trying to futz around with their own rules, and they can say, "Hey, we can just omit that rule entirely, and we'll be good," you know. So I wouldn't judge Magic based on that.
Okay. But there was a lot of similarities, though. You think now, if somebody from playing Magic went to Star Wars Unlimited, it'd be easier just to understand because it's
Oh
the
yeah.
similarities.
Yeah, yeah, it would be very, very easy for someone from Magic to get a grasp on Star Wars Unlimited. The hard part would be having to take the hit, right? You in Star Wars there's no responses,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
What do
you
you mean I can't do anything?
One thing per
yeah, you
turn.
can't. Yeah, you will take that damage to your base whether you like it or not, and whether regardless of what's in your hand. Now you may have something in your hand that might be able to counter it after the fact, but it's not you can't stop it from happening because
Fun.
in response there's no in
Yeah,
response in Star Wars Unlimited.
that's fun.
It's all because it's since you did this and my card says this happens.
Yeah. Yep.
That's fair. I'll go ahead and just rip the band-aid off. We have two questions we always ask at the end of the podcast that are a little bit out of the ordinary, off topic. But we like to gauge every member's opinion and keep track of it. Pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. Do you
Mhm.
just want yes or no? I mean,
Yep.
I can expand on that.
Yep.
You know, you're more than welcome to expand on it. For me, all when you said yes, that's all I needed to hear because now that's I'm further down in the loser board, just losing away here.
It's whatever the hell you want on your pizza, right?
Okay.
Come on, you know me by now. It's your pizza. Put whatever you want on it.
Oh,
I don't have I
I
don't
want
have
your opinion. I want your opinion, your preference,
my
not
my
his.
my my preference on pizza is sausage only, and linguiça at that. Um,
Oh,
but but the I am not offended by pineapple on pizza. If it was if there was a Canadian bacon and pineapple pizza sitting in front of me and it was hot and it was fresh, I would eat it and I would
okay,
enjoy it and I would prefer it over pepperoni because it's different,
okay.
because it's a taste that I don't usually get.
Or
I
pepperoni. Yeah.
I'm just a anti-cooked fruit person. It came up on one of our first podcasts, and it just devolved into this huge, giant debate. Because then it led into our second question, right?
You don't
Which
like apple pie?
No,
no, I hate
because
apple
like
pie.
anything like that.
Really?
Any cooked fruit, nope. Grilled people are like, dude, you've never had like a
No,
grilled pineapple and put it on a burger? No,
no
gross. Get that out of
What
cobbler.
here.
what
No
about spaghetti?
pies. That's
See,
what
Roast
we had.
spaghetti.
We talked about that last
see,
episode too.
this is the
Yep.
loophole. It's like
Yep.
Tomatoes a fruit,
Yep.
right?
tomato's technically a fruit, but I'm not like taking a whole tomato, right? And I'm not
Mhm.
cooking that and then eating it, right? It's like a sauce.
Mix. Okay.
So
Okay.
I
What
I'm
about?
not big on hot sauces. I've been over that. But anyways, so
Okay.
what this conversation devolved into was our guest, not so treasonous ogre, claiming that cold pizza is better than warm pizza, and then saying that he actually prefers cold casseroles over warm casseroles. And then I said, because it clicked in my head, this is what I prefer. At, there's another wrinkle we got put into this. But I said, what is your opinion on cold lasagna? Is it better than warm lasagna? And he said, no, absolutely not. And I said, it's a pizza casserole. Two things you prefer cold. So why wouldn't you prefer that cold? So
That's yeah.
do you,
That's a serious devolution.
cold lasagna? Yes or no?
Cold lasagna,
And
absolutely no.
so we're okay. First off,
Absolutely no.
explain more. We're not talking about as in like you bake it and then or put it in the fridge, cool it down to
For,
eat it. We're talking about
for several
reheating it.
for several weeks, Kevin thought that I was cooking a whole lasagna and putting it in my fridge and waiting for it to cool down to then eat it. And I
Yeah.
was just saying, no, I prefer it the next day when it's cold and you can get every layer in one bite, because when it's warm and you try to cut it into a bite, it like just squirts out everywhere and you can never get all the layers in one bite.
So more
Okay.
in
Well,
relation to
that has
reheating it.
nothing. That has nothing to do with its temperature, as far as it, like, whether it's fresh or reheated. But I would agree that getting a proper bite is absolutely paramount in lasagna,
Yes.
because otherwise you're just eating layers. The lasagna needs to be able to cut up, and you need to be able to get all the bites in all the layers in one bite, or you're just eating pasta. You're just eating flat spaghetti, right?
So you're telling me that if you you had lasagna in your fridge right now, you would eat it cold, the way it is right now.
Me? No. I'm just
No.
saying that. I'm just saying. No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying it. I'm saying that it has to be. It still has to be heated,
Okay.
reheated. The but
Okay.
Ultimate
I'm just
is
saying.
So he's in the middle. He's between us.
no. He's definitely warm. He's not eating cold lasagna.
I am not
He's
eating cold lasagna.
he's just being surgical with his cuts to
Yes.
ensure he gets the best bite possible.
How do you do
Exactly.
Whereas
that?
I'm usually
My
shoving in the
lasagna
hand.
has to have a very, very sharp knife. And I have to get straight down. I have to get every layer in that cut. And then once I get to the bottom of the pan, I have to slide it along the bottom, including making that horrible noise that makes my wife
Oh,
and then do it on the 90 degree. And so that all those layers are able to be scooped up in one bite of the fork. It has to be that way. Otherwise, it's not lasagna.
now I have a question for you guys, because this made me think, because I have this person in my life. But did you grow up with someone who ate things with layers, layer by layer?
Yes.
Like they separated it?
It's an
So
autistic thing to do. Yeah.
my
Lots of people do
oldest
that.
my older brother, for my entire life growing up, when we would go to McDonald's, would get a Big Mac and eat it layer by layer, and it
Mhm.
drove me insane.
My son does that.
Nope.
He only stopped recently, but he used to do that. He used to eat sandwiches. He would eat the top layer of bread, then he would eat the lettuce, and then he would eat the meat, and then he would eat the cheese, and then he'd eat the bottom piece of bread.
Hmm.
And that's just how he did it. Yes.
I've definitely done that towards like the end of like a sandwich or a burger, where you've definitely
Oh yeah,
just had
when it's
enough
falling
of
apart, there's
it.
nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but there's certain times where I'm like, I've just had enough of this bread. I don't need this piece of lettuce. I just want the patty.
Yes. Yes, I've done that too. Where you just pinch the end of it off and just bite the middle out of it.
Yep. Yep.
Yep. Uh, I don't. We have one. I have the one last question. What?
Good. It's past dinner time. My kids are getting hungry.
I was gonna say.
It's late.
Sorry. What is the randomest item you have at your desk right now? All of us,
At my desk.
or where you're at right now.
Oh, where I'm at right now.
Where you're
So
at
I'm
right
on my
now.
workshop, and I have Okay.
Can I do the same thing as last time?
It's a torch. It's a torch.
It's a butane. Oh, it's a propane torch.
Love it.
And that's the most random. Well, actually, maybe this is more random. This is something I designed and 3D printed, and it's going to be part of my father-in-law's 85th birthday party. It's gonna have it's gonna be part of the centerpieces. And
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
wobble like that for his 85th birthday.
I have this very tiny Jolteon.
Oh, yeah.
I have no idea where I got it from, but it's been sitting on my desk forever. So yeah, it's like a little rubber Jolteon. And I don't even play Pokemon anymore.
I don't even know what a Jolteon is, but I'm assuming it's a Pokemon character.
The evolved Eevee.
You know what a Jolteon is? You know what first generation Pokemon are? Come on.
Me? No.
Remember,
The only
he avoided
Pokemon I
that
know
stuff
is
when he was
Pikachu.
growing up.
Pikachu is the only one I know. The only one I know, and only because I've seen his face all over the place.
What you
That's
got, Kevin? What you got this week?
Does it have to be new compared to last week's?
Yes, it has to be different. I chose something different.
I don't know what's random.
That's not going to be weird, then.
What?
If it's new, it may not be random.
Okay.
Like, oh, this notebook is brand new.
I have this extendable back scratcher.
Ooh, I have one of those on my desk upstairs.
See, I feel like
Got
that's
the
not
one.
very random. I think that's very handy.
Well,
I
a
wish
lot
I
of the
had
stuff.
one.
Okay, here we go. Where I
It's
have
practical.
this bandage stuff.
Nice.
Ace bandage. All right.
Yeah.
Ace bandage. Always
Just in
gotta
case
have it
I
on.
get injured when I'm playing video games or something. Fingers,
Your wrist
you know.
starts cramping up.
Yep, exactly. Okay, that's it.
Well, NavyCow, thank you again so much for coming to hang out with us and sharing a little bit about your story and your life beyond content. Like I said, I've been a big fan for quite some time now, and I need to stop making up the excuses and finally get out and get together with you and make some content in person. So
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
You can wear your op outfit. He can wear his Ninja Turtles outfit.
he has to go
Yeah.
borrow that from his neighbor again. That's not
Yeah,
even
I
his.
Wait, it really wasn't yours?
No, it's not. I borrowed it from my
Oh
neighbor.
my gosh. Well, he can borrow it again. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll borrow it again. All right, guys.
Well,
I have to go feed the kids too. So
Thank you again, buddy. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
bye,
You too.
guys.
Bye.